Hello student, in previous class we discussed about some physical changes. So let's start the remaining part of this chapter. To demonstrate a chemical change, here is a activity. In this activity, we dissolve a teaspoonful of copper sulfate. That another name of copper sulfate is blue vitriol, or you can say Neela Thota, in a half cup of a beaker or in a glass tumbler. If we add a few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to this solution, we get a blue colored solution. So, we save a small sample of solution in a test tube, or we drop a nail or a used shaving blade into this remaining solution. And if we wait for a half an hour or so, we observe that the color of the solution is changed. We observe that the color of the solution in change from blue to green due to the formation of iron sulfate. You can see here is the solution of copper sulfate, and if we put an iron blade in this solution, the color change from blue to green due to the formation of iron sulfate. So, and the brown deposit on the iron nail, that is copper. So the copper is the another new substance. So we can write this equation like this: the copper sulfate solution, that is blue in color, and when we put the iron nail in this solution, we get iron sulfate solution, that is green in color, and the copper, that is deposit in a brown way on the blade. So in a chemical formula you can represent it: copper sulfate, that is CuSO4, and Fe, that is iron blade. Then the Fe react with the sulfate and make ferrous sulfate, and you can say iron sulfate. So copper sulfate is in a blue color, and ferrous sulfate change the color from the blue to green, and the another substance we get, that is copper. So we can say this activity is also a chemical change because we get new substance. In another activity, if we take a teaspoon of vinegar, the chemical name of vinegar is acetic acid in a test tube, and if we add a pinch of baking soda, the chemical name of baking soda is sodium hydrogen carbonate. So if we take a vinegar in a test tube, and if we add a pinch of baking soda to it, we hear a hissing sound and see bubbles of gas coming out. So this gas is carbon dioxide. So you can represent this activity, this reaction, in this way: vinegar, that is acetic acid, and baking soda, that is sodium hydrogen carbonate, and the gas that is come out, that is carbon dioxide. And if we pass this gas in a lime water, if we pass this carbon dioxide gas in a freshly prepared lime water, what will happen? We see that carbon dioxide react with lime water, that is where the formula of lime water is CaOH whole square, that is, and we get the product, that is calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3 and water. So when the carbon dioxide pass through the lime water change its color in the milky. So if there is a question, when the carbon dioxide is passed in the lime water, it turn milky. Why? Because the formation of calcium carbonate. So students, understand, the carbon dioxide react with lime water and form a calcium carbonate. Due to the calcium carbonate, the lime water change their color into milky. So in these activities we saw that in each change one or more new substance were formed. In first activity, the ash was the new substance formed when magnesium was burned. In next activity, the reaction of copper sulfate with iron produce iron sulfate and copper. So both of these are new substance. Copper was deposited on the blade of iron. In this activity with the vinegar, we see vinegar and baking soda together produce carbon dioxide, which turn lime water milky. So here are the new substances are formed. So a change in which one or more new substances are formed is called a chemical change, and we can say chemical change is also called a chemical reaction. So chemical changes, in a chemical changes we get new substance. So we can define a chemical change in a change in which one or more new substance are formed is called a chemical changes. Chemical changes are very important in our life. All new substances are formed as a result of chemical changes. For example, in our body, digestion of food is occurred due to the chemical change, ripening of fruits, fermentation of grapes. All these activities happen due to chemical changes. So in a medicine is also the end product of chain of chemical reaction. So it is the importance of chemical changes. We get the medicine because the medicine is a product of chemical reaction, and useful new materials such as plastic, detergent, that are also produced by the chemical reaction. So we can say every new material is discovered by a chemical changes. So with the new product, there are some following accompany a chemical change. In a chemical change, heat, light or any other radiation may be given off or observed. Their sound may be produced. A change in a smell may take place, or a new smell may be given off. A color change may be take place, and a gas may be formed. So in a chemical change, we said so that the burning of magnesium ribbon is also chemical change. Burning of coal, wood or leaves is also a chemical change. In fact, burning of any substance is a chemical change, because the explosion of firework is also a chemical change, because in an explosion it is produced heat, light, sound and unpleasant gases. So student, you understand the chemical change. So remaining part of this chapter we will take in a next video.